Hey everybody listening, this is really just kind of a dumb D&D podcast that me and a couple dudes are doing, so don't expect anything great. There are bad words, don't really pay attention to those if you don't like bad words. We do say dumb stuff, but we're just dudes being dudes. We don't mean anything out of malice. If you get upset at that, sorry. The recording kind of starts in a weird place. We're basically just a couple guys who were arrested and put into a prison because we are either not human or we are magic users, and, the city doesn't like that, so we had to kind of escape, and now we're wanted criminals. And our friend, he just joined the campaign, so the beginning is kind of his entry into the story. So bear with us, because it's gonna be a rocky start, but hopefully it'll be fun. If you stick around, you're sticking around. If you don't, that's fine. Enjoy.
Mostly circular, and you can't see like the other side of the city.
Okay.
So when you come across it, you know that this is it's not normally you would see a metropolitan city contained like that. So this is a little bit wondrous to you. And when you start to approach it, as it intrigues you, you get closer and closer, and you see just the mammoth scale of the whole thing. The walls have got to be like 60, 70 feet high. They look incredibly thick. And you see there's some also grandeur to this whole thing other than just the scale. It doesn't look like a big, cheap, brutalistic building or anything like that. It looks like there's art and culture going on inside. You see colors and you hear music and things like that.
Okay.
So you're traveling along this dirt road, and naturally there's a bit of a line to get into the city, just people coming in and like checking things out. And so you're behind like carts and wagons and everything. There's some people behind you, and there's just guards. The gate has like this mini door. There's a large gate, and then there's like a mini door that like people are kind of going through while they're getting everything checked out. And you see there's like 3 or 4 guards, it looks. And they're wearing, leatherish plate armor. They don't look really tough or ornate or anything like that, but they do look like they have some, like, maybe a family sigil on their thing. They do look a bit dirty, so they don't look, pristine or anything like that.
Okay.
It looks like they've been out here for a while. It's probably 3 or 4 o'clock, and you're about to come up. You maybe have, like, 3 or so people ahead of you. You do notice that out of this line, you are the only half-elf looking creature. You, do you have like a hat or a helmet or anything like that? Or are you just, you have a hood?
Yeah.
Okay. When you look around, you're not able to like tell anyone's exact race or anything like that, but you don't see like orcs or dragonborn or like clear elves around, or even dwarves.
Yeah.
As they are entering this city. So do you just keep moseying in this line?
Yep. I just follow through, waiting my turn.
When you reach the gates of the city, the guard to your left comes up to you and he kind of like holds out his hand like this, and then he goes like this to like motion you to do it.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
hold your arms aloft. You do it?
Yeah.
All right. A second guard comes around and starts like kind of giving you a bit of a pat down. And as he's doing that, the guard to your right says, "Do you have any magical items on you?"
Other than potions? No.
Other than potions, no. He says, "What potions do you have?"
Health potion.
Health potions. He's asked to see them. Kind of like
Oh, show
rifles
me.
through it.
Yeah.
He takes one of them. He gives you the rest back.
Oh, shit. Let me just take one out real quick.
Name?
He might die if he does something.
Nostradamus Hemostases?
Where are you from?
It's a little place out in the country.
Name?
Nostradamus
Of the town. Out in the country.
just in between here and there.
All right. State your business in the capital.
I'm just making my way through, seeing what's what.
He kind of like looks you up and down, and the guard to your what sort of like weapons or otherwise dangerous equipment would you have on you? Do you think?
You've got 2 daggers, but that's about it.
2 daggers and a
Right.
light crossbow.
2 daggers and a light crossbow. The guard to your left sort of like nods at the guard speaking to you, and he's like, "You may enter."
Thank you.
And you walk into the city.
I do.
If you like.
On second thought.
I only spent 40 hours in this line. let me go away now.
Not 40. Maybe
38.
30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
It was quick moving.
Okay.
They moseyed on.
So like fast for Dragon Con, but any other
Fast for
context,
Dragon Con, but any other line you'd be like,
I'm booking it.
fast for Six Flags.
Yeah.
So
Okay, chill. That's good.
you get into this capital, and as you walk in, it's really a lot to take in. It seems like there's a lot of culture and art here. You see there's like people juggling in the streets. As you're just kind of walking around, you see stores and shops and theaters and big houses and tenant homes and all sorts of things. And you see there's bright colors everywhere. You see that there's arrays of fashion ranging from, just pick a point in history other than like 1900s onward, and you see someone like that. You know, you see people in like doublets, you see people in like tight pants, you see people in real finery, and then you see people who look more common. They're not really dressed to the nines or anything, but they still don't look, you know, slummy or anything like that. Like obviously you're walking around a dirt or mud or cobblestone road, so their shoes are going to look a little bit messed up. And this is, you know, people don't necessarily bathe all the time. Some people look like they do. Some people have, you know, perfect complexions, and some people are a little bit spotty. But it does look like wherever you have stumbled upon is doing really, really well. So it's just very striking to you. Maybe you have come across places like this, maybe you haven't, but for something this large to be doing this well, it's a little bit impressive. Is there anything you would look for in a metropolitan city, or anything you might do?
Probably look for the library or bookstore.
Library or bookstore? You're able to spot some obvious signs that point to different bookstores, and you're able to overhear people talking about Capitol Library. They call it the Titan Library, but it seems like this is where the library of the city is. You're able to figure out it's towards the center of the city from people talking about it. Would you rather go into a small bookshop or head there?
Probably the Titan Library.
So as you're walking through this place, the other things that you pick up on as you start to make your way closer to the city is there's a lot of things named after people. You see there's, you know, different like weapons shops that say Hephaestus's Forge or something, or like Heracles Bar or Constantine's Cucks, which you're not sure what that means. But you're making your way down, and you also see there's a lot of like plazas and town roads are named after people. And the other thing you're able to piece together is, you know how there's typically graffiti in cities? Here there's the same amount of art and graffiti, but it's typically displaying battles and fights and like different people standing up to monsters and tyrants and things like that. And then anytime you pass through a plaza or a town square, there's usually a statue in it that's like some big strong man standing over a dragon, or it's like a group of people pointing their swords at a lich or something like that. And you get the feeling that the people here love their heroes, that this is a town that worships people that do great brave things. Roll perception as you're on your way to the library. 14. The other thing you pick up on, they're all human. Every single thing. Every person walking around is a human. Every single statue is of a human, or if there's a non-human in it, they're typically the ones being killed. You ironically are able to see a few other races. You see a dwarf or an elf maybe walking around, but they have a little badge on them. Everything that's not a human has a little badge on it.
What's the badge look like?
It's red and square, and there's a little bit of like a symbol in it that you haven't seen on any of the guards or anybody else walking around. But it just looks like a little bit spirally. But you make your way to the Titan Library, and it's colossal. I mean, think of like a cathedral in a European city. That's what it's like. There's big steps going up to it. There's a big dome. There's towers and everything. And if studying is your thing, it excites you a little bit to go in there.
You get like a half chub.
Yeah. These books are
You
pretty
start
sick.
stroking it a little bit.
So you've made your way into the Titan Library. Everybody else.
Yes.
Oh, that's us.
Yeah. That's all of you. That's yous guys.
Use guys.
So you guys are in Natasha's little group home.
Sweet lady.
Yeah, very sweet lady. And you basically just talked about how
You're about to die and get put in an oven.
God.
there's work to be done
No,
around
it's
the
red,
city
not
and,
yellow.
and outside of the city, and
Gotcha.
you Ezekiel has opened up to everyone about his personal goal, where he's trying to find the lost clan, the Crows, his lost sister clan. But I think everyone else split up after that. So, depending on what you guys.
Jesus.
I hung back to kind of get the DL from get the scoop from Natasha about like, hey, how can I earn a little cash here?
Earn a little gold.
A little gold, yeah. You know, like the place seems like it's just got gold flowing through the streets. Like it seems very rich and totally not squalid. Just really good conditions for earning the big bucks, you know.
The big money.
Yeah.
Natasha, when you ask Natasha this question, she replies, "I'm sorry, Rainer, but for someone like you, the only real
Sorry.
People like
Why does every chair not have wheels on it?" She says, I apologize, Rainer, but for people like us to make even a decent living in this town, you're going to either have to serve the people in charge, or you're going to have to rob them.
So you've obviously earned a lot of my gratitude for your hospitality and whatnot to our group.
Of course.
How does everyone in this sector generally feel about the people in power that you're talking about?
Bitter,
Bitter?
bitterness, scorn, anger, rage.
So if I were to take you up on that second option, no one would really bat an eye around here.
Well, it depends on who you rob. There
Of course.
are people in the city who do stand up and fight for us,
Okay.
but
Generally not so much though.
no.
That's good to know. Thank you.
So am I still at the Hobble 2?
Yeah,
Cool.
well, you're wherever you want to be.
I
Since
would
we
like
ended
to
kinda-
also be there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if I can meander on over to them in their conversation.
Sure.
Perdóname, ma'am. But these people in charge, do you have any names associated? Anything specific or anyone specific that we should keep our eye out for?
Or alleviate them from some excess riches that could be put to better use, maybe.
There's a whole network of courts and nobles and people choking on fried chicken.
Damn you, Andrew! We tried to be stealthy with it.
My character's out of like a little stand eating like
He's got some mutton.
It's not as good as you hoped it would be.
oh it is.
Natasha says, there's got to be a dozen or so nobles, courts, and gentlemen that oppress us and try at every corner to exploit us. But the one who started this all, the one who took control over the capital after the battle, is General Alexander. He's proclaimed himself the king of Titus, and you can see her get kind of like, she's been calm with you guys, but as she talks about this, she gets a little bit like red and frustrated.
Okay.
And she says, as illegitimate as he might be, he holds the most power in this city.
Alexander.
Adxander.
Fuck, I did a Z.
Sander.
AD,
Xander.
Oh.
like AD dash
No, it's just space.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you guys don't. She said it. She didn't write it down, so you can misspell it all you want.
Yeah.
You can do it on GD.
Yeah,
you can do it on.
I take
Word
out like I have
document,
like a
you can do it
small
on
journal and I
notepad.
write it down. Well, I'm assuming she can very clearly see that I'm
Oh,
misspelling
I'm in
it.
another campaign.
Thank you. We shall.
So it's all in
our
Peter
eye out
finishes
and-
his chicken.
No, this is like
On
my
another,
campaign,
side
but
note,
there's characters from both.
How do you
stack.
walk around the city and how can we
Do I need to be in
keep out of
Alexander
sight as a precaution against the way we look?
Or further imprisonment.
Well, in actuality, you could walk the streets as you are now. The only issue would be you need
You
to
can go to a Word document.
face registration, and it's totally up to them as to whether they would want to register you or not. And even if you did get a pass, and if you were registered as a citizen, and you decided to walk through the cities, you would be constantly harassed by guards, you would be spit on by some people. Some people wouldn't blink an eye at you, some might. I would imagine for someone like you, I mean, I've never even met someone like you. I would think you would draw attention no matter what. If you were trying to move through the cities without granting attention, then if you're able to disguise yourself, that would be a good idea. If you're able to somehow move through the cover of night, that would be an idea. I mean, I take it you fly.
I do. The issue at hand is it seems as though we are not easily getting out of the city as well. We may have easily been captured here, but our next big idea would be whatever we may do here will be finished and thusly will no longer be spat upon, as you say. But I mean, that is up to how the group can figure that out.
Oh, you want to stir some shit?
Dude, start a revolution?
I do not think a revolution would be advised. There are more of them than there are of
coup.
us. That's
Yeah, but
not,
that just makes it more fun, though.
Well, speak for yourself, boy.
Boy, I'm like 200 years old.
Yeah, I'm very young.
Is it okay if I walk back into the tavern?
But yeah, I'm not very sneaky.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
despite the lack of stealth, I believe
Yeah, sorry about
it would
that.
be.
I mean, the other guy's not stealthy either, so.
So I walk back into the bar. I'm like, all right, fellas, what are we talking about?
We are discussing means of
Overthrow.
Fucking shit up.
Yeah.
concealing our identity mainly.
Guys, I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm a human,
Yes.
and if you
Except-
do a revolution in this place, I might get caught in the crossfire.
But you were locked up, which means
I mean, true. Yeah. I mean, I have nothing against that or whatever. But, like, the people that we're fighting for might kill me.
yes.
Just show them
Why?
that you can do magic and stuff, and like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
And
you should
Natasha
be fine.
intervenes and she goes, "Our people aren't hostile. They won't attack someone that they don't think is a threat. So as long as you prove yourself not a threat,
How might I do that?
well, how would you prove yourself as a threat?
Probably by hurting somebody.
So don't do that.
Natasha, you're brilliant.
Thank you. I've had 658 years on this life. I
Oh,
better be.
motherfucking gods.
Oh, wait, that's...
you don't look a day over 502.
Oh, you're too sweet.
You really know
She
your way
really
with
doesn't
the,
look 650. You know,
She's like gilfs.
you know how Elrond from Lord of the Rings is like 2,000, but he just
Oh,
looks 50.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's how she looks.
Oh,
She's
Agent Smith,
650, but she maybe look.
Holy shit.
She ages like Jennifer Aniston.
That's
She-
fantastic.
yeah.
So
Wow.
doesn't.
Damn.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just a lowly birdman. Wow, that's insane.
You wanna... I almost had a joke. Never mind.
If things
tried.
were to happen, the escape plan is the biggest means of survival, right?
Yeah, we should probably figure out an escape
Wait,
plan
you can
first.
fly, right?
I can fly.
So why don't we wait till nighttime and then you just carry us over the wall?
That.
Well, he can...
How strong are you, old chap?
Not as strong as you may.
On a
We'll
scale of like
We'll just hold on.
0 to 25, how strong are you?
About a
12, I think.
12. About a 12.
I'm afraid that might not be a
than me.
great idea.
It would be a long process.
Only we had somebody who could like make us fly.
Like through
Yeah,
magical
if only.
means,
If
perhaps.
only we had a very good magic person.
I mean, I can make us fall really slowly, but
I can't. I can hit stuff really hard with
Oh, so
really
he
cool
flies us up
magic.
and you drop us.
Well, he drops us
Wait a
too,
minute,
but
that's
he
actu-
makes us drop slower.
that might not be a terrible idea.
Really?
Have you guys seen Griffin cavalry in the city? Have there been any airborne things?
Roll intelligence.
Can I roll too?
Everybody. Except for you. You didn't hear that. Because you're in the library.
I rolled a set. Oh wait, 17,
Ooh, I
21.
forgot I have a love intelligence.
Is it like a history
Yeah, right.
or just an intelligence?
Wait, 20.
Yeah, roll.
Nice.
Well, no, it'd be just in straight intelligence.
So that's just a 12.
14?
20, 12, 14,
9.
9. You two are like, the two of you, you remember a few guards and everything
think I
like that,
saw
but
a
you remember
pigeon.
pretty well. You didn't see any flying cavalry or anything like that.
Let's ask the person who's lived here for 650 years.
Fair,
Natasha,
that's a good.
I don't think there are any cavalry in the city, but do you think there are any flying mounts that could cover our escape? Well, against us, rather.
No.
Well,
Do they
Well.
feel the same way about magic creatures as they do about us sort of magic humanoids?
Unfortunately, yes. They're not looked down upon, but if you wanted to own anything, more than a cow or a dog, you would need to tell the city that you had it, get a permit, and it would be incredibly expensive. I'm sure only the richest nobles have anything.
Well then, what
That's
is
the true villain of this
Oh
game.
my god.
honestly,
the red tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
You're playing in life.
I used to like law.
I know better now.
our next course of action is perhaps to figure out what we do next.
Well, the thing
Sure.
about that, let's go back to that flying idea for a second, right? It's if you bring one person up and drop them, I can make them drop slower, right?
Oh, wait,
and then
What
they,
would be the range of that spell?
well, that's probably
Just so
good.
long as you're within eyesight?
Well, hold on.
Or
a minute.
can we like have everyone he fly us all up onto the wall and then we
It's
drop
not
all
exactly a
together?
spell. It's more like a thing you'd have to drink that tastes really terrible.
So a potion?
That's the word for it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to research that. So I can't get back to you right now. You know,
Okay.
I'm not a book.
I'm not a book.
So
not a book, asshole.
Peter, maybe
Ooh, popcorn.
you can utilize this day for you to do some reconnaissance for information for your research. Perhaps to maybe keep an eye out for.
I should probably cover up all this crap.
Before
good
you
idea.
go out, can you take a look at this? And I take out the book with the chain and lock on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
have a-
I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes using like different
of vague
different
value.
vials, pouring things on it, seeing how they react, and I'm going to cast identify with a ritual casting to see what it does.
Identify.
Okay.
Which
You'll-
do you know?
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
Well,
Do you want me to read what identify does?
I mean, I know what it does, but if you want to go ahead and say it, go ahead.
I mean, it just
I don't
tells
know
me
what
the magic
I don't
item
know what
is.
identify.
yeah, what does identify do?
Oh.
I love nuts in my mouth.
You're-
Gimme.
You're able to identify it as. So, okay. So this is the one that's black, wrapped up in chains, and has a lock on it.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
Wait.
Is this a
This is the one with the golden lock on it,
Oh,
like the
The
wizardy
golden,
looking
the
one.
wizardy one. Yeah,
yeah,
this
I have
is
the other one.
this is a spell book, plain old spell book, but it's locked up by physical and magical means.
Hey,
And I know what it is, I know its properties, and I know how to use them. Like
Well,
it doesn't
it's
like
a
I know
s-
how
a
someone
spell book. Its properties is it's a book,
Okay.
and if you were able to open it,
if I was
you
able
would-
to open it. So can I know it's a spell book.
yeah,
Okay.
I know what like the idea of it is like you know how to use it and its properties,
But if you
it's-
can't use it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it being a spell, you'd be like, if I could get into this, I could do whatever. Like, I could read the spells and yada, yada, yada. But it being a spell book, I can't imagine, unless you have the level to do it, you would be able to knock that shit out. It's
Well,
not like a wand or anything.
Okay.
So
it's
it's
not technically a magic item. It's
Yeah.
like a.
So you
it's
could
a spell
copy
book.
it
Speaking of
down
wand,
if you were a
Right.
wizard.
So I'm looking. Looks like a spell book.
Ah, that's no use to me.
Well,
Put it in my bag.
Well,
I
I have.
have another thing.
Guys, this is going to take me an hour, which I have. Hold on, hand it over.
This will take me all the time in the world.
What am I looking at?
It's a
It's the
black
Book of
book
Shadows.
with a chain around it.
All right, we'll spend 20 minutes as you see me pouring different little, things, seeing how they react.
Where did you learn to do this?
Well, I read a lot, and I go to libraries, and I test in my workshop. Yes, I get it. Yes, yada yada. Anyways,
I
I've
feel
studied
you,
for a
dude.
very long time, and I have a certain fascination with magic items. What am I looking at? This
His
is the
book
chain
yeah.
book.
It is a book of shadows.
What does it do?
It is a book
Oh,
that is similar to a spell book. It is limited to warlocks, and you get one when you make a pact with a patron.
Is there a symbol on it of the patron?
Nope.
Okay.
It's got a black chain with like a little black fancy padlock on it, and it's like a fake alligator skin.
Ooh, can I make
You ever-
can I make a religion check on this?
I
That is 15.
15.
Yes.
Do you have proficiency in religion?
I don't.
No.
No.
Hey, what is? Let me look at that. I have.
I mean, it's
proficiency.
about this once. It's a book shadows. It has
6.
warlocks, but
6.
You read a book about a book.
well, yes. I'm
a
not.
little weird.
It's be book.
I'm not sure what kind of patron this belongs to, but
You,
it,
uh,
can,
I mean, it's black and has a chain around it. I don't think that's a good sign.
it can't be anything
Yeah,
good.
probably not.
You want me to try to crack it open?
Try to crack this one open.
Why don't you crack both of them open?
Okay.
Uh,
So
Would you
I
be
now have
willing
my lockpicking kit since we got our
Yeah.
equipment from the stuff. So I'm going to try first on
I'm gonna
the
step like 20 feet back.
not evilly book.
Nice, my book.
Yeah. First, just to, warm myself back up. I've been emaciated for the past week or
4
so,
days.
so I gotta. My fingers aren't as nimble as they used to be.
Pretty good.
Sleight of hand. That's an 18
18 to.
to crack to lock pick the thing.
the my book open. The wizard
the
book.
gold
The
book.
wizardy book?
Yeah.
18.
Yep.
No.
Really?
All right.
What you're able to tell physically, it is a very complex lock.
Oh darn.
And even when you were able to get past like one thing,
Yeah.
it seemed like there was something locking it back in place.
Okay.
magic.
I might need some more high quality tools for this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what? I'm sure nothing will go wrong with the other book though.
Oh, I'm totally
Yeah,
sure
try my
about that.
book. I say across the room.
Okay. I catch it nimbly and without fail.
Oh, look, I rolled a 300.
Okay. All right. Let me crack this bad boy open with a
8?
yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
as
you
like,
open it.
it's not as complex a lock. It's very strange to you because the other one it was this intricate mechanism, but the other one
It's more fun.
yeah. When you like go into it, it's almost like solid iron.
Okay.
Like you would almost say that there's no like lock to pick on it. Ironically enough.
Can I like flick the hinge?
Yeah.
Just see if that
Is
that
the
busted
secret-
open. Yeah. That's it. What do I
What are
add
you
to
rolling
that?
for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Rolling
You're
for
making-
flick.
Oh, no
I'm saying
damage?
you're making a strength check.
How hard you flick
11. Yeah.
11. You break your finger.
I'm gonna try disguise that I just held my finger and just hold back the pain.
Okay, maybe you didn't break your finger, but you definitely like burst. the
Yeah,
nail
yeah, yeah.
that-
Oh god, I purpled my
Yeah, purpled your
fingernail
nail.
a little bit.
Peter, how about
Yeah,
looking
you
at
can
something
just
that
hold
is
on to
not
this
able?
more.
Oh yes. I mean, it takes me a while. If you guys are fine waiting, that's fine.
I believe I do not want to step outside just yet. So
All right. So we'll just spend a little bit of
I'm
time
gonna take a nap.
at the DM's discretion, if that's fine with me spending this time doing this.
What are you doing?
Casting Identify like a bunch of times ritually. It's just
On
It's just gonna
different
take
magic items.
different magic. It's just like a ton of. What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?
Because like it takes 10 minutes for each magic item. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, yeah. I'll let you do that, and when we get back, just ask me whatever something is, and I'll let you know. But let's
Right.
go back to you.
Cool.
So you are in the Titan Library. And when you walk in, you see what looks like a bunch of citizens and scholars coming in here. There's not real security. You see a few guards walking around, but that's it. They don't ask you like who you are, what you're doing, or anything like that. But as you walk around, you're able to see that this looks really open to the public, like all levels open to the public. You see there's tons of regular citizens looking around. You see people from like high class, low class, guards are even picking up books. Just a lot of things. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Uh-huh.
You know when Sam walks into the library at the Citadel and has an orgasm? So, I mean, minus the orgasm, it's like that. You walk in.
No, I think there's a little bit of
massive.
an orgasm.
If you want to have an orgasm,
There's
you're gonna
like-
have to make a
it's like
Constitution
pre-com.
save. But if you don't want to do that, it's
I
fine.
think I'm good.
Alright, so you're in there and you're able to see that there's like a little bit, not necessarily directory, but above certain boards and on walls, there's panel like little plaques that will say like
Gotta brush your teeth more.
books on history A to C or something like that. So you're able to like kind of meander and navigate your way around to find a book that you would be interested in.
Okay.
So if Nostradamus was in a library, what book might he try to find?
This potion you made is flat.
I've lost my touch. I've been in prison.
Considering that they asked me if I had any magical artifacts on me, I'm guessing
it's
that
just
they
piss.
don't really have a huge involvement with magic. So, probably just go to like a history section, try and read up on the city.
As you're walking around, roll perception. You're able to find a little history section.
Don't forget to add your modifier this time. Ooh, might not matter. You rolled a 3 plus stuff.
You said 4.
A 4?
Yeah, I run into the wall.
You find yourself in a section of the library. Like I said, there's plaques pointing everywhere, but it is a large, convoluted library, so it's not difficult to get turned around. You go to what you think is a history of the city section, but as you walk around, you find, oh, this isn't history of a city CITY. This is history of a city CITTIEAAIE.
Oh, wow.
I hate it when that happens.
I hate that.
I know her.
And you become very confused.
I thought you were gonna say like history of acidity or something.
Acidity.
It's like, yes, this is very corrosive.
Quite.
Either I had a stroke or the library had a stroke. The history
Why do I
of
smell toast?
acidity.
The Holy Grail is in the castle of Oh, that's what it says.
You couldn't have just written it out.
Do you pay attention to your surroundings as you're walking around, or are you just
Nope.
looking at plaques?
I try to keep a watchful eye.
Keep a watchful eye.
Yeah.
As you're looking around, you're able to see, obviously a majority of the people walking around are humans. But as you stumble onto this, a history of a city, you see there's this very old, elfish looking woman. She's very, very wrinkly. She's got like kind of straw-esque hair. And she's kind of like hunched a little bit. She is like crouching down to look at the books, but you get the feeling that if she stood up straight, she wouldn't have perfect posture. But she does have like she's got knife ears, like they're out. And then as you're like able to look at her, and as you turn around, you see that she's got a patch. It's this square, maybe like 3-inch by 3-inch patch of red, and it's got this like black spiral sort of in the middle of it.
Is there anyone around her?
It seems to be just the two of you in this one. I mean, you hear people around, but in this one particular hallway, it just seems to be the two of you.
I go up to the open one. Excuse me.
She turns around, she goes, huh? She's got these big, thick, like, Coke bottle glasses. Like, one eye looks really big, the other one looks like, huh?
Excuse me, ma'am. I was just wondering, what are those patches for?
Is she part crow?
Your sisters.
It sounds like Grunty from Banjo-Kazooie.
She says, this means I'm a non-human. And then she kind of goes, and she looks at you and she goes, are you human?
Not in.
Don't let them know. She turns around and then she kind of comes back to you and she goes, I could smell it. So he comes back and she goes, that's why I asked.
Now that I know that, I am going to continue my search, not for acidities, but
Acidities.
Acid titties.
Acidities are the worst on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Alright, roll for perception again.
9.
9. You don't find yourself in another strange tunnel, but you do lose track of where you are. And now you appear to be in like a big main hall, almost. Like you just came down some stairs and now you see there's like guards kind of around, and there's multiple people walking back and forth with books and such. They don't seem to be really paying attention to their surroundings either. You might get bumped into by a few people who don't say excuse me.
I hate this city.
I hate this city.
Okay. I walk to the end of the hallway to see what's
Do you go left or right?
left.
Left. You enter what looks like the center of this library after walking for maybe like 5 or 7 minutes. It's this big circular section that you can see goes all the way to the top. And there's this large dome that looks painted. You can't necessarily make anything out because it's still pretty high, but it looks, like Sistine Chapel-esque. It's very like romantic, Renaissance-esque paintings at the top that you can't quite make out, but they're human figures. And in the center of it, there's just like this large golden bench that a couple people are sitting on. And then there's tunnels going out in every direction, and just looks at you're at the center of the library.
Okay.
Do you continue looking for a history?
I do not.
No.
Is there anything around me that looks suspicious? Maybe closed off? An area?
Oh, the forbidden section.
You might learn about what pussy tastes like. What's the good? What a rhyme.
Vaguely like pennies.
Metallic in nature with a hint of honey. Who the fuck was this guy? Who wrote this book? Jackson died.
You're just sitting in the hallway yelling that out about the book, and this shrouded figure turns
Poor
around and goes,
share.
it's not the story the Jedi would tell you.
Oh god.
Watch
The tragedy of Darth Lucius.
No, in all your walking around, you never found a closed off section. You found sections that had warnings on them that were like, I don't want to say like adults only or anything like that, like, but like there were warnings that were books about sensitive subject matter.
Smut?
And such. Well, like smut. Well, maybe there was smut, but yeah. Not like smut, but just things that the city might be sensitive about. It doesn't seem like they're keeping people in the dark, but just sections of the library that have warnings.
I go to one of those bookshelves with the sign, and I take the first book off the shelf.
Take the first book off your shelf. So when you take the first book off the shelf, you see it's black leather, it's hardbound, and the pages have, how some pages have like gold trim on them? This has all black trim, and on the center of it you see there's like an engraving of a staff, and at the top of it there's a little plucked in ruby. At the top of this staff. Roll religion. Mortal.
Jesus.
Should have prayed to Bahamut, am I right? Or perhaps the Platinum
9.
God.
9. Do you have a proficiency in Arcana or religion?
That's a
Arcana.
D&D thing.
Arcana, yeah.
That's
No,
the
no.
gold. That's the gold dragon thing. I thought you said Muhammad.
No, I said Bahamut.
Praise be Bahama.
A proficient in Arcana, and you rolled a 9.
I
In
rolled
religion.
I rolled an 8
If you
plus
die,
1
you
for
get
religion
72
plus 3 for
pseudo
Arcana,
dragons.
so I guess 12.
Okay. It does seem familiar, but you don't know what it is. You're not able to place it.
I read the book.
You read the book.
I read the book.
So upon scrolling through it and getting to like the title page and everything, it says A History of Devils in Titus.
Okay. As in,
Probably not that big.
I read on.
Written by Joseph Keenan Roberts.
Okay. I'm kind of confused as to like devils because I'm not sure because the staff kind of gives me an idea that it's like magic related, but the devils thing, it kind of like devils like maybe lesser, maybe like history of other races in the city.
When you're reading through it, it doesn't feel magic to you. This isn't emanating anything. You can kind of tell this was like a human writing down a history book.
Yeah.
And it doesn't talk about like other races or anything. It suggests that, well, do you read the whole thing in its entirety? It's not, well, it's a big book, but do you just like skim through it or skim through it? What you're able to tell is that it's not necessarily like they lived here or anything like that, or like this city is haunted or anything like that. What it suggests is there's a conspiracy theory that the royal family that was assassinated 5 years ago had connections with a devil, but they don't know what it was.
You're in like the InfoWars section.
Yeah. This book was written by Alex Jones.
Fantasy, yeah.
Of course.
Put the book down. The next book is putting chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs.
So they say chemicals?
Do you look around this section a little bit more?
Yeah.
As you're looking around this section, you find this one book that isn't as ominous as the other one. It's not black. It looks like a typical textbook, however you might think that is. But it's titled The Scourge by Mikhail Lestikov.
Pretty specific names.
Dost thou read it?
Okay.
As you read it, you're able to find out this goes a lot more in detail, and this one is not as like conspiracy as the other one was just sort of like, you ever watch a documentary that's like, we don't know if they were or anything like that. This one has evidence. It's like, this is something you can believe. So as you're reading through it, it basically tells the tale about how when Titus was a united kingdom just 5 years ago, this city had constantly dealt with a problem to the north of there's mountains miles north of this place, that beyond it there was a massive kingdom of hobgoblins that would constantly ransack Titus and different neighboring villages. But as you get to the end of this, what you find is at this event called the Battle of the Champions, which you're able to remember from certain different books that you read or different platzes that you saw. At this Battle of the Champions, it would appear that the Titan army led by 4 heroes was able to wipe out the Scourge in its entirety, while also defeating something called the Terror, that it describes as a large black shadow in the sky.
Well, that ain't no shadow, that's a ball.
It's Tom Kenny.
Isn't that the guy who voices SpongeBob? Yeah. I'm just picturing Tom Kenny.
That's fun, yeah. It's the Macy's Day Parade, yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
Just inside the balloon.
But yes, this is what you find. Do you continue to look around this section?
I believe I've had my fill.
Okay. Do you want to look for any other kind of book, or do you want to
I think I might look around the city a little bit more.
look around the city? So you leave the library? He leaves the library.
Towels over there.
Yeah.
So back to y'all. So you were identifying things?
I was identifying every magic item that we'd amassed the day before.
Every amass.
Like, so the ring, the necklace, and what did you have?
It's purple wand. It was like a wand with purple
Yeah, the
things
purple
on it.
wand, the necklace, and my ring.
So
I had the necklace.
I think I have an idea of what we might be looking at, by the way.
So, your bag with different geometric shapes upon it,
the
with
bag.
a leather strap, shoulder strap.
I didn't get the bag.
Oh,
Someone
who-
else got the bag.
Somebody else got the bag.
I had the wand.
I didn't get a bag.
Well,
I got
whoever-
a jeweled.
You're talking about the wizard bag.
Well, currently everything's in his possession.
Yes.
So,
Whatever.
you, with your bag, you find out that it is a bag of holding.
Ah, shoot! I can already make these. This is useless.
Well, I
So-
can make another thing.
Yeah. But,
I'll take it if you don't want it.
No, I'll take it. This is useful.
You can hold the ones that you make inside of it.
you look at the ring, you find that the ring is a ring of water walking.
Hey.
Put it on, you can walk on water.
It's pretty neat.
Then there's a spell book, there's the Book of Shadows, and the other one is a wand of magic missiles.
Oh, sweet.
Which, basically with this wand you can cast magic missile.
But just once, just one.
I believe it has...
I think it's a D4 every day.
Yeah, I think it's...
Or D4 charges.
All right,
Oh,
so
okay.
So you get up to 4 charges each day.
And each one
Alright.
is probably a level 1.
Yeah,
casting.
that makes sense.
Also-
right, you're up first. I think this thing
Well, actually, hold on. Let's just
can
look
cast
at it.
magic missile.
Oh.
Let me actually look that up because it's probably on D&D.
So have fun with that.
Gracias. Thank you.
Also, there's magic spell cards right there. They're all alphabetized if you need them.
That's one charge today.
There's too many of them. Like, it might take you a minute to look through. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The one
besides
has
the
7 charges. While holding it, you can. use an
what was
action
the
to spend
necklace?
one charge.
The necklace?
Yeah, I got a
1d6.
jeweled necklace.
Done.
point. Who had the bag? I don't remember the bag.
I don't remember a bag.
I don't remember the necklace.
It was the necklace and not
I
the bag.
I believe there was a bag and not a necklace.
Okay, so we'll.
Okay, let's retcon that.
Because I don't have the necklace written down.
Barbecue chips.
Well, there was a lot of jewelry in the
Yeah.
box, and he took a necklace.
I mean, I said that I could make a bag of holding.
Watch out for roll.
Yeah. Well, it might honestly just be a. Yeah, it's probably just a necklace if I didn't write it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Valuable,
I think
but
that's probably-
not wondrous in any way.
Sure.
So
I'm
does
cool
the bag
with
of
that.
holding still exist? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know I had the bag. I know you gave me the bag.
Okay.
Well, guys, I have bad news. This bag of holding is kind of useless because watch this. And I kind of like motion to one of my own bags, and it looks identical to a bag of holding.
I can hold on to that.
Yeah, take it, I guess.
Oh,
I have
Mr. Science Man,
That's me.
can you put a bag of holding inside of another bag of holding inside of yet another bag of holding?
I think-
And then put
In
that
your
in another
anus.
bag of holding.
I think you can do that, but there's one thing you can't do with a bag of holding, and that's putting it into a portable hole. You cannot do that.
portable.
A portable hole.
That's
it's
a thing?
Yes,
Like
it's this sheet, right? And you put things in it.
Like
It's kind of like a really, really big bag of holding that you can roll up. However, if you put a bag of holding into it, or vice versa, it creates a portal to the astral plane.
Oh.
Can we do that?
That sounds fun.
That's a really bad idea. It'll
That
kill
sounds
us all.
fun.
Astral plane. What is in the astral plane?
Do I know what's in the astral plane?
Do you?
Do I?
Can I roll an Arcana check?
Yeah.
It would be Arcana.
Oh, I proficiency.
I'm pretty
14.
sure. I
Yeah,
just
anybody
think
wants to make
that
an Arcana check
sounds
now.
cool.
I got a
so
14.
I'm good with that.
All right, no.
No.
He's a dog.
What
I
did you
can't
get?
remember what it is.
14. You're able to remember that the astral plane is sort of this world beyond worlds. It exists in the space between realms, almost. Like if you left the material world and were going to, let's say, like Olympus or like a high plane or something like that, or like Pandemonium or wherever, the space in between that you would either pass
Would be
through
the
or not pass through
Oh,
would be
that's
the
right.
astral plane.
It's where you go when you cast blink, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not
That's
not
the
to be
ethereal
confused
plane.
with the ethereal plane. The ethereal plane is just like the material
Blink
world.
is
and
the ethereal plane.
yeah.
The astral plane is
Think of it this
like
way:
the nothingness.
astral plane is space, basically.
So does everything that go there freaking die?
No, no, you can totally go to the astral plane and come back.
A viable method of escape out of the.
I mean, yeah, but it ruins the bag of holding and the portable hole. I mean, I can make bags of holding all day long, but portable holes are expensive. I mean,
Like 5 gold.
multiply it by
10.
100.
So like
50 gold? No, he's got an intelligence.
You're getting there,
plus
old
2.
sport.
That's a lot of gold.
500.
500.
Basic math. Yeah.
500 is a lot.
Yeah. No thanks.
They're probably
sounds
more
like a
than
bet.
500 gold, but that's besides
Well,
the point. Anyways, the point
Getting
I'm trying to
off
make
topic,
is I
yeah.
can make bags of holding.
Perfect.
Can you make me
But
one?
Well, since we already have one, I think next time I learn
we
a
have
new
two.
one, I probably won't do it anymore. But what were you saying?
Can you disguise me like you did? Like I heard you do.
Yeah, I think I
at
can only
the-
do it on
at
myself, but I can put like chalk on you.
Ooh, I don't think that would help much, but I appreciate it.
He's already pretty
Chalk your
colorful.
beak.
Yeah, I don't think disguise.
Draw a mustache on the beak. Like, I am a human, yes.
I'll tell you, we don't exactly know much about the other districts around here. Natasha,
True.
have you been out into the main part of the town very often? Do you know much about it?
Yeah, I lived here for about
Shoot.
500 years.
Okay, well, do we need to know anything?
Are you registered? Do you have your this patch you speak of?
I refuse to register.
Okay.
Then how do you
I
go out into
understand.
the main
I
city?
understand.
I don't.
You just said you just said that you.
No. The whole segregation thing is relatively new.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
okay.
I was out eating mutton.
Oh yeah. No. So
It's new?
basically, yeah. So there's this
Why
guy,
are the people
General
revolted? If that's
Alexander.
new, then what the
Hey! I'm explaining this. All right. Come on. Open your ear holes, dude.
Fine, I'm listening. I'm listening.
So relatively new. It's General guy, Alexander. Alexander, whatever.
What a
So
stupid
he,
name.
yeah,
It's
he,
pretty dumb.
Alexander.
Whoever fucking came up with
Just
that
called
name
him
should be an idiot.
Alexander.
I don't know, man. I didn't come up with the name.
Has balls for a nose.
But long story short, he's a self-declared king of Titus. Doesn't really deserve the title, but he's the most powerful guy in the city.
Wait, what happened to the last
so-
king?
I don't fucking
They got
know.
assassinated.
We didn't ask that far.
Natasha.
Oh shit!
What
no,
happened
yeah,
to the
you're
old
right. I
king?
have no idea.
The old king, he was very ill for an incredibly long time, and his son Anthony, who people suspect had ill dealings, he was sort of running in his place, the kingdom, and people were very unhappy, but it was nowhere near as bad as we thought it was going to be. But after the battle, when we won, we were all celebrating, but then we found the tragedy that was the king, who was ill in his bed, had been murdered, and his 13-year-old heir was also murdered.
So you're telling
And-
me that people don't think it was Alexander who did that?
No, well, we know it wasn't.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
Well, how do we know this?
because he was at the battle, and they were murdered in the keep.
But he has
This-
friends in the city, maybe.
Well, if I believe you, okay. Well,
Yeah,
How did
seems,
he gain
seems
power instead of his son that you talk about?
his son died.
Oh,
His son's
son died, I
freaking
mean.
dead.
there's no
He's
living
10
heir?
feet. He's
They're
6
no,
feet under the ground.
The living heirs
80
were wiped
feet
out.
in the air.
Anthony went missing. The heir who was running in his stead. His youngest heir, Francis, was the one that was murdered. He had several other sons that had been murdered. So we didn't know who was going to take over, and there was this council that met of different nobles and generals and merchants, and at the top of that council came General Alexander, who was the general at the battle.
Well, checks out to me. Anyways, but I have a slightly off-topic question, right? So I'm an alchemist, you know, I kind of show her my bottles and whatever.
So you can,
All right. Is there a library here in town?
bro.
Yeah, in the center
Okay.
of town, there's a place called the Titan Library. It's the biggest library that you could find in miles from here.
So if I didn't have all this swag on me, would you be able to tell that I was magical?
No,
All right.
your face might be plastered on wanted posters, but I doubt they would really care.
All right. So I have a plan, all right? I'm going to go into town. I'm going to do a little reconnaissance, as you said.
Okay.
I'm going to put all of my stuff in the bag of holding. And I trust you to hold it, because I imagine they
Wait,
probably
don't
know
you have
what
your
these-
own?
Well, yes, but I imagine they
that's
probably
a
know what a
magical
bag of
item,
holding looks
so-
like.
I take the bag of holding and I put it in the bag of holding.
All right. Wait. I'm going to write my name on it.
Go ahead, take it out.
Antimony saltpeter.
AP.
AP.
ASP.
Yeah, that's
School
good. That's good.
program. Gotcha.
Anyways, Natasha, I've been asking you several questions. I'm sorry. Does this bag look magical?
The bag of holding?
My bag of holding.
Your bag of holding? She looks at it and goes, yeah.
How can you tell?
It's glowing.
No. How can you tell this is a magical bag?
It's going. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It says bag of holding, bag of holding, bag of holding.
Well, it looks like a bag of holding.
Does... Wait a minute. I think I can do something about this. Alright. Can I use... Hold on. Can you guys talk for a second while I look something?
How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
How about you?
No, I'm all right.
Welcome to the podcast where we
better.
talk about how we're doing.
Oh, are we talking in character? Or
I
out
don't
of
know.
character?
Oh, we're talking in character? Oh.
So,
probably, yeah.
wait,
Simple
Natasha.
Magical tinkering says that I can
I think that
make an
Brandon, you
image
are a character.
appear on an
So, what are we
Jackson,
gonna
I need
do
you to
about this
stop
whole
speaking.
situation in the
That
city?
bag that makes it
Well,
look like
I
a
do not know
normal
my
bag.
thing. But,
Should we just leg it and like?
Yeah,
Didn't
I would
Natasha
say
say
good.
she
How
had a
long does
job
that
for
last?
us?
That lasts
I
I think
for
she
as
said
long
like
as I'm
there
alive.
are jobs
and I can drop it
available
whenever.
just in general.
Guys, I'm a
but
genius. I
Oh.
figured something out.
Congratulations.
Whoa.
All right. So if I just do this, and can I get my bag back, please?
No.
Please.
Yeah, sorry.
I go,
I was yanking your chain.
and I just go, and I pour a liquid on it, and it
Okay.
just looks like a normal bag.
Ah.
Is that like?
It's one of my things.
Prestidigitation
It's one of my things.
Oh.
It's a magical
Do
tinkering
any
thing.
TSA agents live in this city for you to check your bags or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know.
How many
What
ounces
if you
of
get stopped
liquid
by
are
a
you
guard?
allowed to
I mean,
have?
I've only been here for 5 days.
Well, I think in a
Right,
bag of
I
holding, it's
apologize. I-
4 gallons.
Do you think you'll need any backup in the city in case there are wanted posters of all of us? I mean, we are technically escaped convicts. Maybe I could shadow you.
We can travel by route.
There's no way
Hold
I'm
on.
shaving this mustache.
I was just about to
Hey.
say that. That might be a good idea,
was-
though.
Wait, I can just cast disguise self.
But that's...
Where's the
takes some
fun in that,
energy.
though? I'm
Yeah.
gonna take out my dagger and just like, but where's the fun in
I'm
that?
gonna take out my
You
hammer
touch my
and say, "What's the
mustache, I
fun in
touch your
that?"
heart. Not in a special way. I mean your actual heart. I'll rip it out of your chest.
I thought you were coming on to me. Have I told you about Frank?
No, what happened? Who's Frank? You tell me.
Yeah, so
I lean across the table.
I never actually told you guys about how I escaped the jail.
Oh yeah, I never.
Yeah, I
never
just
thought
kind of
to
ran
ask.
into you, and
Yeah.
yeah, long story short, there's another patrol. I earned his trust and befriended him, convinced him to give me a hug over our shared, trials and tribulations and whatnot. He said he couldn't let me out of the cell, so I just lured him in, disarmed him, locked the door behind him, and then fucked off.
Poor Frank.
What?
Yeah.
I knew the guards were stupid in that prison, but like they were that stupid.
Yeah, and apparently this guy was in accounting too. Like, he was in charge of numbers.
Who let
and
him
shit.
go into the prisons?
I don't know. Yeah, right.
No?
I don't know what to say.
This revolution should be really easy, guys.
At least he didn't get pissed on like the other guy.
Fair, but... Fair, yeah,
You,
fair.
I heard something. You
wait,
actually.
That was a
How'd
trick.
you get out?
Yeah, I did backflip too.
Well,
He got taken, remember?
Yeah, you got
was-
tortured.
Oh yeah, you were being
not
tortured.
tell you?
What happened? We kind of just met up. We
Hey.
missed the whole kind of sum
How'd
up.
that torturing
Yeah,
go?
man.
You okay?
I was fortunately not tortured. I
that's good.
managed to hide, wait for a long while, and walk for a long while before I found a tunnel that led outside to the roof of the prison I flew, and I flew to the safest place in town I could see, which brought me here. And by coincidence, I met you in the morning.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Wow.
It's almost
I
like
buy
this.
it.
It's almost like this.
And how many people did you have to kill? We had to kill like what, 5, 6?
Yeah, we killed a
I think
couple.
I
My
killed
hands
two,
start
and
shaking.
I'm not very happy about that.
I did not.
The
have
worst
to
thing
kill
that
anyone.
happened to you is you got your throat slit a little bit.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying. Are you okay, by the way? You good?
There's a scar.
Ooh.
So
did ask
as
him to
as you
sleep
guys are
with her,
regaling
so-
each other with the
Kinda on
stories
you.
of how you got out of the prison,
Yeah.
Nostradamus, you've left the library.
Can I start walking towards the library?
Yeah.
Wait, am I gonna shadow you, like, just in case? Or?
Sure.
Okay,
So
I'm
what
a
are
head
you
out.
doing to shadow him? Like, how are you?
I'm like Assassin's Creeding it, just like on top of rooftops, just like making sure he's just like
Can I come with him? top of roofs.
Yeah, if you.
Are you
you'd
sneaky?
Like.
I am sneaky.
You can do whatever you like. You just have to deal with the consequences of what might happen.
All right, fellas,
Worst case
I'm gonna
scenario,
head
we go to
out. I'm
jail.
gonna
Okay.
see what I
So-
can find.
You two are
we can
hopping
stay here and
rooftops
yeah,
to follow him.
Like
He's
using my staff to pole vault.
I'm going to build.
Yeah.
All right.
What are you two doing while this is going on?
We're just gonna spar.
You're gonna fight?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, knock yourselves out. So you've left the library,
I already left the library.
and is there a part of the town that you'd like to check out, or as
Turn
you're
into roasted bird.
Not anywhere specific. I'm just roaming around, seeing what catches my eye.
roaming around? As you're walking around, you see towards the center of the plaza. There's like a little like a variety show, almost. There's like fire breathers and jugglers and things like that. It seems like a big occasion. It's drawn quite the crowd.
Is that Chris Angel? I approached the variety show.
Is there
See what kind of shenanigans.
see what's shenanigans? When you get around there, you're surrounded by people that a lot of people have come up to watch it, but they're not really paying attention to you. But you see there's like a woman doing like hula hoop stuff, you know, and there's like big constructions where they can like do swinging stuff off of. So that it's like a bit like a Cirque du Soleil show. Almost, and there's like little bags kind of out in front of them, and people are like dropping coins inside of them.
All right. I like what I see, and so I drop a gold piece in.
When you drop a gold piece in, a woman kind of jumps down from like a little like high beam sort of thing, and she looks at the bag and she looks back up at you, and she's got this really big smile on her. She's like, "Thank you," and then she hops back up.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Just leave to yet to dream.
All right, and is that all there is to see?
No, I mean you could keep watching the show. They're doing a lot of different stuff.
Oh shoot, Chris Angel Cirque du Soleil. I like where this is going.
What time of day is it? Maybe,
5, 6
5,
o'clock.
5, 6? Okay. We're good.
And I'm just looking around.
You see a shop, ironically, that's called Zachary's Magic Emporium. That's very strange. It's like got a very sparkly sign. It's got a big sun on it too.
Just a magic shop in the city that hates magic.
Oh, it's probably like not.
Yeah, cards and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like a racist shop where it's like, wizards have big noses!
The dude's in blackface.
Oh, you guys know the guy in.
I walk into the store.
You walk in.
Yeah.
When you get in, when you look around, it does kind of look at like a magic shop, but then you're like, oh. Because the guy behind the counter is in this like weird, it's like this big flowy, goldeny, like velvety kind of weird cape, and then he's got this like big pointed hat with like a little frill on it. And he's got this obviously fake beard going around, and he's like, "Welcome, wizard. What do you seek?" And he kind of like moves his hands around, and you look around, and it is obviously like those rings that you like kind of pull apart behind your head. And there's like maybe like a wand that's black with white on either end that like has an obvious mechanism that shoots it out. Like you're like, oh, and there's like a lot of kids running around your feet. You're like, oh, okay.
Reporting to the guards.
Yes, this
shop
this
clerk is
wizard's right
still-
here.
This one right here.
Right here, officer.
There's in the back you see there's the guy running the shop is maybe like in his 30s, but there's a guy in the back who's like sort of leaning up against a shelf, and he's got this like thin paper little booklet, and he's got a fake beard on too, but he's like a little bit spotty. He's got some pimples and this like weird greasy hair, and
He's
he's
not
just
in
sort of
the
like sitting in the back like
It's Frank.
he
I
got
just walk
fired.
around, see if, just, I guess to make sure, because you never know, just to see if there's any actual magic things. Because, I mean, that would be the best place to hide, and obviously, garbage.
Do you have like detect magic or anything like that?
I don't think you do.
Uh,
let me just hack you leave me on for a second.
Let me just get past the firewall here.
No, I don't.
If you don't have detect magic or anything, in your expert opinion, no.
Yeah.
No. Everything seems like it has some gag to it.
Okay.
If not, it also sells like little candies.
Okay. I buy a pack of cards, and I leave.
Buy like a deck of cards.
Yeah.
All right. When you bring it up to the shop clerk, he's like, "Ooh, the magic wondrous deck of cards," and he kind of like does like a little thing with it, and he puts it back into the box, and he's like, 4 pence.
Let me give you
Hey,
4
pennies.
pence.
Balloons.
What is the
1 gold is 100
Oh.
copper.
do you happen to have
Change.
change? It's pretty obvious.
Do you hand him the gold coin and ask if he has change?
Yeah.
He looks at the gold coin. He goes, "Whoa, shit!" and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Give me a minute." He totally drops the yak. And he goes to this. He goes like through this back door, and he comes back, and he's got like this little sack, and he's like kind of rolling through it. And he hands you 96 copper coins. Yeah.
No fucking
Not
silver.
9 silver.
That's like exactly
Just
96
He hands you the bag, and then
That's
he's
like getting
It counts
94
like
pennies
1,
when you give someone
2,
a dollar.
3, 4.
He hands
You don't have any quarters
He hands it
or
back, and he's like,
dimes?
"I'm sorry, man."
Sorry, man. We ran out of the silver roll.
Okay.
Well,
I
we
guess
saw the
I-
silver for the
I-
arcade
I
machine.
open my little pack and I guess I just like funnel it into there, and then I walk out disappointed.
You walk out, and is there any other place you're looking for, or are you just moseying around?
Just moseying.
Moseying? Aight.
Yeah.
So, you two have sparred.
Mhm.
Did you guys, like, make up a combat, or are you just, like...
We were just like messing around, I guess. Yeah.
We're just
Uh,
practicing. I
yeah.
was practicing some spells.
And I was kind of like getting my sword and shield and like
Yeah.
feeling like the
Same
divine
here,
energy.
trying like practicing shifting between
Religious boys.
shield,
Fighting.
hammer, shield, and casting hand.
Yeah.
Alright.
But let's go talk to Natasha because they haven't. It's been like 20 minutes.
I agree. She hasn't been bothered by us in 20 minutes.
Shut up, Birdman. So Natasha,
She's, like, rifling through some books.
you talked about like needing some jobs done, right?
Yeah, there's just different work you can do around the city and outside the city.
Interesting.
And in the slum. Yeah.
Anything that needs like drastic attention at this moment, or any leads on?
There is one thing that you might be able to help with us.
Sure.
Yes.
What we do here, I overheard you guys were asking about the revolution.
Yeah.
Well, there was a revolution,
Oh.
actually. So, shortly after General Alexander took over this area, after this kingdom, he quickly put in his rules against magic and against other races and subjugating everyone. And like you thought, a lot of people didn't take kindly to it. And he put these rules across the kingdom, not just in the city, it was everywhere. And there was a noble in the north, just around the mountains, named Tudor Herring, who was a half-elf, and he was a sorcerer. And he had just about enough of it. And so he collected, well, not like collected, but he gathered sorcerers and wizards and warriors from other races, and maybe only just a few months after Xander took power, he led this massive revolution and fought his way out. And he established this kingdom beyond the mountains named Teshna. That is this huge magic haven for all sorts of people and all sorts of races. The problem is it's a little difficult to get into. It's kind of secretive, and it's very well protected. And it's mostly protected because the mountains are extremely difficult to get around.
I would expect, yeah.
But we have an established route through the mountains. That's what they use to go across, and that's their main deterrent from the Titan army getting across. And what I do that's a little illegal, aside from harboring people in the slums, is we've really given up on taking over the capital. Just because we don't think it's necessarily worth it.
Is this the capital?
Yes. So what I predominantly do is I authorize a safe passage for other magical or non-human people that have been trapped in the city out to Teshna. Or at least just out beyond the mountains where they can't necessarily be had.
To escape their bigotry.
And they're small trees.
But
And they're small dicks.
Yes. But the issue that we've been having is one of our leaders in this sorry, I talk slowly.
No, it's totally fine.
One
Understandable.
of the problems that we have I meant me, not Natasha.
Oh.
One of the issues we've been faced with is over the past few weeks, one of our leaders in this passage was, we believe, maybe kidnapped or, God forbid, killed, because they haven't reported back here. And, well, I quite frankly don't trust a lot of people to make this journey on their own, especially if they're not able to go through these mountains. And so, if you are feeling up to it, I would greatly appreciate your help in locating her.
I would love to.
Sure, yeah. As soon as the other guys get back, we'll talk to them and see if we're up for it, you know?
What is her name?
Her name is Alexandria.
Alexandria.
She is, funnily enough, a totally normal human. No magic capabilities. Young, maybe 30s. Brown hair. She usually keeps it up, but brown hair. Green eyes. Tall. Maybe 5'10", 5'11". Doesn't carry weapons. She usually talks her way out of things. That's who you're looking for.
Thank you very much. Where would we start in this endeavor in finding her, in helping safe passage as well? What are our first steps?
Well, I think the first place to go would be just in front of the mountains. There's, I wouldn't call it a fort, because it's not that big. But there's a fort, that's what they call it.
Outpost?
Yeah, there's an outpost for the Titan army, so they know that we sneak people out. They don't want to go beyond the mountains, but they protect any opening they find. And so maybe just 4 or 5 miles out from our passage, there's this outpost where they have captured several refugees and escapees.
Gotcha.
And so if she was captured or executed, I would reckon that that's where they were. If she's not there, then she's lost in the tunnels somewhere.
How do we get to this passage you speak of so that we can properly prepare ourselves for this outpost and whatever may come with the mountains?
Yeah, where does this path start?
She says, "Follow me."
Okay.
She puts her books down and begins to walk out.
Okay, wow, so that was crazy, right? I feel like it's a pretty good place to end that episode right there. Right before a lot of crazy cool stuff starts happening. So, be sure to... I'm going to try to keep these to about an hour 10, 15 minutes long. The sessions go on for about 4 or 5, 6 hours. But I'm trying to chunk them up and take out all the and all the dumb tapping on the table things. And I've learned a lot from this first session. Super cool stuff that I've learned. Jackson is super quiet. Andrew is good at talking wherever he is. And I do a lot of this. So yeah, I'm going to try to do a lot less of that. And we'll see where it keeps going. So thanks for tuning in if you tuned in. Thanks for looking at it if you looked at it. Probably not a lot of cool stuff is going to be on the screen while you're watching this. Just going to be in your mind cave. Thanks again. Peace out.